This is The Real Weight, where we explore how your life and your physiology are connected. I'm Frank Dollar. There's a difference between being strong and being silent. A lot of adults confuse the two. We carry responsibility, we handle pressure, we provide, we show up. And somewhere along the way, we decided that talking about how heavy things feel makes us weak. So we don't. We stay fine. But fine isn't neutral. Fine costs energy. We live in roles: spouse, parent, provider, leader, business owner. Roles give us structure. They give us identity. But when your identity becomes only your role, things get fragile. Because roles can change. Kids grow up, careers shift, marriages can end, businesses evolve. And when the role shifts, if you don't know who you are underneath it, your system feels there. Not just emotionally, but internally. There was a period in my life where divorce and the loss of my prosthetic business happened close together. And what caught me off guard wasn't just a change in circumstance, it was the disorientation. I didn't just feel stressed, I felt undefined. The roles I had attached myself to, husband, business owner, provider, shifted at the same time. And there were moments where I felt like I had somehow failed, especially my daughter. Madison never cared about titles. She never cared about material things. All she wanted was my presence. And there were days when stress and depression narrowed me in ways I wished they hadn't. And that's hard to admit. But it's honest. The important part is this. I don't live there anymore. But going through it changed me. It forced me to see how tightly I had wrapped my identity around external roles, and when those roles cracked, I had to ask a deeper question. Who am I underneath them? When identity destabilizes, the nervous system doesn't just process emotion, it processes instability. And instability takes energy. The body stays a little more alert, a little more guarded, a little less settled. Even if nothing dramatic is happening on the outside. And when that alertness stretches on long enough, you feel it. Sleep isn't as deep. Recovery isn't as easy. Patience isn't natural. You might not connect it right away, but your system knows that when you're living in silent disorientation, your body carries it. That's the part people don't connect. They think weight gain or fatigue is about food. Sometimes it's about grief. Sometimes it's about suppressed resentment. Sometimes it's about becoming someone you no longer recognize just to keep everything stable. But here's the part that matters most. Losing those roles didn't destroy me. They redirected me. I had always wanted to work in health and wellness in a deeper way. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and physiologically. What I went through forced me to understand how inseparable those pieces are. And now I'm living in alignment with something I always wanted because the loss forced clarity. The roles I lost weren't who I was. They were only containers. And when those containers broke, I had to rebuild. That's the pivot, not impulsive, but intentional. You can carry responsibility and still pursue passion. You can provide for your family and still rediscover curiosity. You can be mature and still be adventurous. Neglecting yourself doesn't serve the people you love. Suppressing who you are doesn't create stability. It creates internal tension. And tension always shows up somewhere. Your body doesn't separate identity from biology. It responds to both. If you've been living almost entirely inside a role, if you've been strong but silent, if you've been fine for a long time, ask yourself something gently. Who are you underneath that role? Not who do you provide for, not who depends on you. That question isn't selfish. It's stabilizing. Because when identity and life are aligned, physiology follows. When they aren't, change begins. Sometimes the loss isn't punishment. It's an invitation. I'll see you in the next episode.